Sister Wives star claims Kody Brown withheld affection and neglected parental duties in scathing new memoir. The world of Sister Wives has been shaken yet again, as shocking new revelations from a scathing memoir have come to light. One of the Brown family women is opening up like never before, claiming that Kody Brown withheld affection and neglected key parental duties during their years together. These new insights not only shed light on Kody's role as both a husband and father, but also add fresh layers to the ongoing narrative of family fractures that fans have been following for years. In this new memoir, the author describes how Kody's lack of emotional and physical presence left scars that are still healing to this day. According to the claims, his behavior went far beyond just favoritism toward one wife. It extended into outright neglect when it came to his children and emotional abandonment of his partners. For viewers of Sister Wives, these revelations may not come as a complete shock, but the raw details from inside the household paint a much more painful picture than the edited clips ever allowed. The first allegation that jumps out is Kody withholding affection. For years, fans have seen moments where he appeared distant with some of his wives. The memoir takes this further by describing private struggles, moments where his unwillingness to show love, even in small ways, chipped away at the foundation of these marriages. Simple gestures of comfort or intimacy, things that should have been routine in a marriage, reportedly became rare and conditional. This left his wives questioning not only his commitment but also their own worth within the plural marriage. The author recalls times when Kody would lavish attention on one wife while simultaneously shutting out another. This dynamic created an unbalanced atmosphere in the family home, where competition for affection was not just subtle but painfully obvious. Children picked up on these disparities too, noticing that their father's love seemed more available to some siblings than others. The long-term effects of this, according to the memoir, are still playing out in strained family relationships and broken trust. The second, and perhaps even more disturbing, revelation is about Kody's role as a parent. The memoir alleges that Kody frequently neglected his parental duties, both emotionally and physically. While he often portrayed himself as a devoted father on television, the reality behind closed doors was starkly different. The author claims that Kody left much of the parenting work to the mothers, choosing instead to focus on his own desires, projects, or the needs of whichever wife he was most connected to at the time. This neglect wasn't just about missing family dinners or skipping chores, it cut much deeper. Children allegedly went without the presence and guidance of their father during pivotal moments of their lives. The memoir details birthdays and milestones where Kody was absent, moments of crisis where his support was needed but never arrived, and countless ordinary days where his lack of interest was keenly felt. Over time, this absence created resentment not only between him and the children, but also between him and the wives, who shouldered the burden of both parents. The emotional neglect is described in heartbreaking detail. Times when the children sought Kody's attention or approval, only to be dismissed or redirected. Moments when the author herself felt invisible in the marriage, treated as though her feelings and needs were secondary to the larger family image that Kody wanted to project on camera. This duality, the polished public image versus the fractured private reality, is one of the memoir's strongest themes. It's worth noting that these claims build on patterns fans have speculated about for years. On the show, viewers saw Kody grow increasingly close to Robyn while pulling away from his other wives. Arguments erupted over time and energy, with Christine, Janelle, and Mary openly expressing feelings of neglect and abandonment. The memoir confirms that these struggles were not just reality TV dramatics, they were part of a lived experience that left deep emotional wounds. One section of the memoir recalls how Kody seemed to weaponize affection, using it as both reward and punishment. When things went his way, he could be warm and attentive. But when a wife disagreed, voiced concerns, or pushed back against his decisions, he allegedly pulled away. This emotional control created a toxic dynamic, where affection was no longer unconditional but transactional. For someone in a marriage, particularly in a plural marriage where insecurities already run high, this kind of conditional love can be devastating. The neglect of parental responsibilities is also framed as a betrayal of the very principles Kody often preached. Throughout Sister Wives, he emphasized the importance of family unity, of raising children in a loving environment, and of honoring the values of their faith. Yet, according to the memoir, behind the cameras, he was not living up to his own words. The gap between his public persona and private behavior created frustration, anger, and a sense of hypocrisy that tore at the fabric of the family. The author also shares stories about the children themselves. Some grew tired of waiting for their father to show interest. Others tried harder and harder to gain his attention, only to be met with disappointment. Over time, several of them learned to stop expecting anything from him at all. For a child, this kind of lesson can be life-altering, shaping how they view love, relationships, and self-worth for years to come. Another poignant aspect of the memoir is how the wives often supported each other in these moments of neglect. Despite rivalries and tensions, they understood the shared pain of being overlooked. Conversations late at night, venting sessions, and even silent acknowledgments between them revealed just how much they were all enduring. While the plural marriage was supposed to be about sisterhood and shared strength, it often became a space where they bonded over the lack of attention from the man they were supposed to share. Of course, the memoir also touches on Robin Brown. The perception that she was Kody's favorite is not just speculation, it is discussed openly in the book. The author notes how Kody's willingness to be present and engaged seemed to spike whenever Robin was involved. This favoritism left the other wives feeling not only unloved, but also betrayed, as they had invested years, even decades, into building a family that was now crumbling under uneven devotion. For fans who have followed the Browns from the early seasons, the cracks have been visible for years. Christine eventually left, citing many of these same issues. Janelle followed, unable to maintain a relationship with someone she felt was no longer invested. Mary, too, has publicly acknowledged the lack of intimacy in her marriage with Kody. Now, with this memoir, the raw truth is laid bare in a way that can no longer be ignored or dismissed as editing for television. The impact of these revelations goes beyond gossip. It's about the lasting consequences on the children and the wives who lived through it. The memoir raises questions about what it truly means to be a father and husband in such a unique family dynamic. Was Kody overwhelmed by the sheer size of his family, or was he simply unwilling to put in the work required to be present? Did the structure of plural marriage set him up for failure, or were these choices purely